Hey there, what's up? It is V from Love and Crystals. Thank you so much for joining me for an intuition strengthening / building workshop. I thought I would do this for us because I love working with books that don't have any words, and I love working with decks that don't have any words. And it just, I don't know, it just leads you, it leads your imagination. You're able to expand and be flexible in your readings. And this was the very first deck that I found that didn't have any words. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can totally use this as an oracle. And I saw someone's video too. She was like, yeah, you can use this as oracles, and there's so many different expansions. This is the first one, and this is actually a game. It's called Dixit. It comes with this, this little instruction here, and it comes with these. Oh, it actually has a board piece, so you can place your little bunnies on there, and so it has numbers here. And yeah, little markers, bunny markers. So turn a game, you can turn any game into an oracle, right? I might do that with the Ascendant Masters game as well. I might take those cards and use them for, or for shuffling for my readings. But this is, if you're interested in this and you're not sure what we're trying to do here, this is basically a practice for us to build and strengthen our intuition so that we can become more intuitive or more in tune with our intuition and our psyche. And I feel this is so much fun because you get to expand your horizons, your intuitive horizons. And especially if you're doing readings and you pluck one of these cards out, you're like, oh, you have some, what's it called, some room to, add in something else that you wouldn't see in your cards that has words on them, So and I also want to say that I have a lot of oracle decks that I have trimmed the words off of. Like this one, we're going to do this one next week. This is next week's assignment. And I just didn't vibe with the words. I have a lot of oracles that I didn't, I couldn't relate to because of the words. And so I decided to just use them like this in my readings. And it gave me a lot of flexibility, and I'm so thankful. And so the whole point is to just, connect more with our higher selves and just be able to just add in more, of ourselves, our own thoughts, our own intuitive messages. And it's just so important, because you have tarot, which is very structured. I love the structure. I love that it has a backbone. I love that it has, it's very, one card can mean so many things, and then you have to learn what it means in reverse. But with oracles, with oracles, then you have one word assigned to it, with each scene, which, gives you a little bit more flexibility. But then you have wordless cards that don't have anything at all, which even gives you more flexibility. So it's nice to be able to go from tarot to oracles to cards that don't have any words at all. So if you have decks that you don't really vibe with because of the words, feel free to chop them bad boys off. Go ahead. And if it's too hard for you to cut the words off because it will mess up the, the art, I would suggest just creating your own oracles, or you just getting a set of cards that, you can chop words off of. Whatever, I don't know. I'm just saying, be flexible with your readings, or with yourself. So I'm going to be doing this every week, and also I'm going to be incorporating new decks into our fun. And do one deck per week, and then revisit what we just do a little bit of homework assignment for the next episode, and then we'll recap what we did here. We'll compare stories. So if you're all about that, please keep watching. And then I will introduce a new deck, and then we'll recap and go on, so on and so forth. So I also am going to be incorporating. See, I have notes here because I'm really all about this. I also am going to be incorporating wordless books. I used to love, I didn't even realize that until now, making the connection, but I used to love borrowing wordless books, picture books for my kiddo. We would make our own stories, and then a month later we would totally think of a different story. It depends on the mood. So I'm going to be incorporating those awesome wordless picture books for us to do our intuition practicing and building and strengthening. So yes, let's do this. And I also want to say that I create my own oracles, and I'm not trying to, promote them or anything like that, because I already do that on my pick of cards. But I create my own oracles, and, the whole process of curating images and diving deep And I'm like members of these awesome websites, you know, where photographs are on. So I subscribe to them. I'm able to like pluck these images out, but I have to really be careful with, you know, I have to make sure everything is right, make sure everything looks good, and then I have to go. Imagine having to go 40 to 70 something cards, looking at each image on the computer because it's not in my hands yet. On the computer, trying to really channel each image and try to figure out the right keyword to go with the image. It really takes a toll on your brain. It's really fun, but it can be exhausting as well. And it's just you know, it's an interesting process, I will say that. And very rewarding, by the way. And I don't just slap on any word. I do my research. I Google. I'm like, wait a minute, what does this mean? What do I think it means? And what does a pine cone mean? You know, I had like a whole bunch of different pictures of pine cones. I'm like, what does that mean to me? And like for this one, you know, eternity, evergreen trees. So eternity, everlasting. So that's why I chose this keyword. But, you know, it took me a while. I'm like, well, wait, what? I need a good word. What's fitting? What's fitting? So, and then, you know, if it doesn't fit, I go back to it eventually. But, yeah, I can't just slap on a word. It really has to mean something. So, like this, for instance, 3 of scoops can be the 3 of cups. We have reunion. So that was kind of like a no-brainer. But then you have this other images where it's like, what? Pretzels? What the heck does pretzels mean? Not all the time. I just like to fact check, you know, like hot air balloons mean happiness. I did not know that until I started doing research. I'm like, wait, I don't want to just put air in the hot air balloon. I want to put something that's more in-depth, more meaningful for people who are reading with my decks. So anyway, you know, creating your own oracle totally helps you, you know, it trains your mind to really be flexible and go deeper into the image. And so that's what I want to help, you know, inspire us to do. I want us to go deeper into our images and go deeper into our subconscious and deeper into our intuition and really try to figure out different ways to interpret our cards. So if you're all about that, keep watching. All right, so today we're using the Dixie card. So like I said, this is a board game, and so you can totally you know, take apart your board games and just take the cards out. And, you know, I never really played the board game, to be honest. I'm like, nah, not interested. I fell in love with the cards. And there's different expansion packs. There's so many. I'm trying not to buy them all. I just want to keep with one. So I'm gonna shuffle cards for us, and I'm gonna, you know, invite you. You know, if you have music in your ears, please put music in your ears so that you can better tune in. That's what I like to do. See, I have my earplugs in. I'm listening to Tibetan music. Sound bowl music, and it's just so relaxing. So the first step here is that you know, when I'm trying to connect with images, I put music on. And if you want to put your sage or your palo santo, this is my black tourmaline. I don't know why I put that there. If you want to just, you know, set up the mood for yourself and relax, set your nice space up so that you can concentrate and not be distracted or have anything that you have to tend to. Make sure you have a nice you know, nice time frame of just you working with your cards. Okay, my friends? Alright, so I'm going to shuffle for us, and I would like for you to just relax. Take a deep breath with me. Let's do it together. Ready? Breath in. Breath out. Calm it down. I know I talk fast. And I put some music for us so that you can tune in with me. And so I'm going to shuffle 3 cards. I would like for you to sit with these cards for as long as you need to. Please do pause the video if you need to. No rush. We're not going anywhere. This video is not going anywhere. It will be at your disposal for as long as you need it. Okay? 3 cards. And what I like to do, I like to create spreads. So we're going to create a spread so that we can keep things in order. We can know how to decipher and what place they go in. You know, it's like you're answering your own questions. So the first card is going to be, what do you need to know right now? Collective. For whoever's watching this, what do you need to know right at this time? What do you need to know at this time? For the second position, what are your obstacles? Well, you have 3. Oh my gosh. We're going to put them back. I don't want to overwhelm you. And you know, I do like to tap on my first card to help me make sure that it stays in sequence. So, we're in the same sequence. Okay, same spread, same energy for the collective though. So, for this position, what are your obstacles? Okay, and then for this position, we're in the same sequence together. We're keeping this together so they all come together in a nice puzzle. What is the guidance for overcoming this obstacle right here in position number 2? Okay. All right. Woo! I'm good. I'm ready. Let me know if you're ready. But I want you to understand that there's no rush here. You take this video how you want to. This is for you to break it apart, break it down, pause it. I know I go fast. I just don't want to waste people's time also. I have to keep in mind that, you know, it's okay to go slow sometimes, you know? No rush. Alright, so take some time to really cleanse your mind and push out your thoughts and just really go with your intuition. Sometimes our minds like to take over. Our minds and our intuition, they're not the same. Crown chakra and our third eye chakra, they're not the same. They work together, but they're not the same. So sometimes we have to keep in mind that sometimes our thoughts want to be heard first. They're like, no, wait, no, I think this, and then your intuition say no, but I feel that this is not the right thing to do. So always try to pay attention to which one is what you're really, really feeling deep inside. Not what you're thinking, you know, not what your brain is trying to talk you out of or get you into. It's more what your senses are feeling. Like, oh, no, I don't think I should pull this card. Oh, no, I don't think I should pull this card. Or I don't think I should cross the street just yet because I feel like a car might come really fast. You always go with your intuition first and foremost. All right, so now we're going to get into the first card. What do you need to know at this time? And I will zoom in for you, my friends. Let's zoom in a little bit more. There we go. Is that better? All right. I'll bring it closer so that you can really gaze into the image. What you need to know at this time. I would like for you to pause the video and really look at this image. Really do. Because I'm going to get into the second image and then the third image, and I don't want to rush you. So please pause. But let me just say something really quick. Look at everything that's happening here. We have the doors. We have a bunny with a sword. If you are into your tarot, maybe you can make an association. Maybe this reminds you of something in tarot. Maybe the 3 doors remind you of something in tarot, you know? You can tie in whatever this, you know, whatever can make you think of something else that you are familiar with. If you want to, you don't always have to go there, but that's sometimes what, you know, I see that in my cards. I'm like, oh, this reminds me of something in tarot, which is, you know, easy to place in my head. But you can always take it different, in a different way. And also, if you're using it with other oracles, this might mean something totally different. That's the beauty. That's the beauty of using your intuition with wordless cards, is that it depends on what spread it belongs to or what other cards are a side of it. If you use wordless cards by themselves, that can totally bring you a different message. So it depends on what question you're asking. But for right now, the placement here is what you need to know. So I would like for you to write in your notes. Please do get your pen and your paper or your notepad on your computer, whatever, and write down everything that you're feeling and thinking about this card. What do you need to know? How does it make you feel? What colors do you see? How do the colors make you feel? Where do you think he is? It's like a journaling prompt. You're trying to depict and really dissect this card, and you want to put everything on paper, everything that you can think of. What number do you get when you see this card? What do you think the bunny is feeling, even though he only has his side profile? You can only see the side of his face, the side of his face. So, let me know how this turns out for you. Okay, so that is what you need to know. Like I said, pause the video if you need more time. Please don't rush. This is a fun exercise. It's not, you know, I'm not going to test you or quiz you or give you results or anything. But I would like to know your notes so that we can compare them in the next video. And I want you to leave a comment. Please do. Leave a comment down below, because I will be reading your comments in the next video. Okay. This is what your obstacles are. What is happening in this scene? It looks like a vine is wrapped around this knife. It looks like this vine has wrapped itself around this knife. Where do you think it is? Do you think it's outdoors? Do you think it's a vine on a building or something like that? What do you feel? What do you feel happens before, and what do you feel happens afterwards? And what is currently happening? Please take a moment to pause the video. Don't rush. Sit with this image. And feel free to just do one. You don't have to do all of them. If you just want to just tell me a story about the first one, go for it. You can choose whatever you want. It doesn't have to be all three. You know, you can also bring this, the way I positioned this, it all came into a sequence for me so that I can create a long story. But you feel free to just focus on one card per week, whatever you wish, okay? This card is your guidance for overcoming this obstacle right here. What is your guidance here? What do you feel you need to do? Because you're in this obstacle. This is a challenge for you, let's say. What do you think your resolution is? What is happening? What is he doing to his hands? What colors are behind him? It's like red and brown. How does that make you feel? Why do you think he's looking into his hand like that? What happens before this? What happens afterwards? That's how we can think also. We can tie that into our readings. Okay. So, I will tell you my story when we visit this in the next episode. I don't want to influence you or give you my ideas just yet, because yeah, I don't want you to, I want you to think of your own story. I don't want you to think, oh yeah, I can see that, and then you might agree with me, and then that will become part of your story. You know, it's not on purpose, but subconsciously. So I would like for us to just write down our stories and then share them in the next video, the next episode. So if you're interested in doing that with me, please do share your notes in the comments section. Actually, I'm gonna do mine right now after I end this video, so that when I see your comments, I won't be influenced and change my mind. You know, so that's how the brains work sometimes. It's like, oh yeah, oh yeah, I didn't think of it that way, and then I start siding with you, agreeing with you, and then I put that into my own story, and I don't want to do that. So I'm gonna work on mine right away. And then I'm going to ask you to write your comments By the time this video goes up, I would have done it. So yes, please share your notes down below, and try not to look at everyone else's answers. Try not to read anybody else's, because we really want to strengthen our intuition, and we don't want to cheat, you know? We don't want to deprive ourselves, or yeah, we don't want to deprive ourselves for practicing and exercising our intuition. We don't. So refrain from looking at anybody else's comments underneath yours or above yours, whatever, however we look at it. And we will revisit this next week. I will bring these cards again and see what was what, and then introduce a new set of cards, compare and contrast, and we'll take it from there. Thank you so much for joining me. You know, take some time with this, you know, and feel free to just pick one card apart. You don't have to do all three. You can just do this one and skip the rest, or this one, skip the rest, whatever. Or if you would like to do all three of them, go for it. Go for it. Alright, I am V, and I can't wait to see what we have in store for us. I can't wait to share what I think is going on here in this sequence, and I can't wait for you to tell me yours. This will be linked on down below. This is from Amazon. You can get this at Barnes & Noble, Amazon. That's all I know so far. So I'll have this linked below, and if you want to choose this deck to work with me, then go for it. But you don't have to. I provide it for us, okay? And I'm going to rotate. I'm also going to incorporate wordless books, and then eventually I'll probably come back to this because I'm going to run out of decks. So if you want a personalized reading, or if you want to check out the decks that I am selling, 10% off, check out my Etsy shop.